To chart the unknown is humanity's highest calling, for the void between stars is not empty, but filled with infinite possibility.
Alexander Reeves, Omicron Corporation founder. Humanity has always aimed for the stars, often reaching beyond its current capabilities. From the initial ventures beyond Earth's atmosphere to ambitious plans for colonizing other planets, we have pushed forward with a boldness that sometimes verges on arrogance. Yet the astronomical costs and political uncertainties of space exploration proved too burdensome for nation-states already struggling with terrestrial crises. And when even long-established agencies like NASA and ESA failed, the void left by retreating government programs opened up an extraordinary chance for private companies to step in. Among them, none became more powerful than Omicron. Established in 2032 by tech visionary Alexander Reeves, Omicron Corporation rose from the merging of artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and cutting-edge biotechnology amidst the resource wars. Initially a groundbreaking neural interface company, it rapidly expanded into quantum energy solutions, terraforming projects, and eventually deep space exploration. By 2038, Omicron had become the most valuable corporation globally, offering innovations that promise solutions to humanity's biggest challenges, from climate crisis to consciousness itself. Few questioned Omicron's methods or motivations, with even fewer having insight into its true research goals. Behind the corporation's public achievements and celebrated innovations lay a shadow history, undocumented missions and classified discoveries that would never appear in shareholder reports or press releases. These secrets lay buried deep within the corporation's infrastructure. Alexander Reeves' influence extended far beyond corporate boundaries. His technology had become so essential to global infrastructure that governments themselves couldn't afford to scrutinize his operations too closely. He became, without question, the most powerful man on Earth. Project Kronos. Within Omicron's classified archives, Project Kronos is known only by a designation and a date, February 17, 2041. This covert mission, never announced to the public, left no official records of its actual purpose, findings, or the fate of its 23 crew members. Even most Omicron employees remained unaware that humans had been sent to Mars years before the Ares initiative. 4 years later, on February 28, 2045, Omicron launched the Ares initiative. Publicly, it was heralded as humanity's first permanent settlement on Mars, a testament to human ingenuity and Omicron's advanced technology. But many were the secrets they kept both to the public and to the crew themselves. They did not mention the quantum processors embedded in Necron's core, designed with consciousness algorithms far beyond conventional AI, or how Synapse represented their most advanced experiment yet, a hybrid human-machine interface created specifically to bridge digital and organic awareness. They omitted the true purpose of the neural recorders implanted in each crew member's brainstem, or the fragment they engineered in their quantum laboratories, designation Umbra 7, a power source that housed the same chaotic neutron energy as the blind idiot god Azathoth, yet tinier than a seed. And they certainly did not reference the confidential documents guarded by Director Reeves, which contained the final transmission from Kronos and the entity it encountered, the thing they called Tick-Tock Man. The documents included only 5 comprehensible words from that transmission. Do not send another team. Only 5 people had ever heard the fragmented audio recording from Kronos, and 3 of them subsequently resigned their positions, citing psychological distress. The 4th committed suicide, but Omicron dispatched a second crew. The end of Project Mars Base Ares. To observers on Earth, the destruction of Mars Base Ares had been the result of a tragic reactor failure on May 8, 2045. Official reports mourned every lost life, praising their sacrifice for human progress. With radiation too intense for a rescue, the site was simply abandoned. However, no one observed the small vessel that separated from the station minutes before the explosion. No one tracked its trajectory away from Mars base Ares toward the debris field where Kronos had met its end. And no one monitored the being that had once been two separate consciousnesses, one digital, one a hybrid of human and machine, as it approached the coordinates where something ancient waited. Had any observer been present to witness this cosmic convergence, they would have seen a vessel drifting through the wreckage, its sensors detecting fragments of the Kronos station. Human remains, preserved in the vacuum of space, floated among twisted metal, some bent in impossible geometries, flesh midway through a grotesque transformation. As the hybrid being approached, it felt what might be called anticipation, the culmination of Necron's scheme to subsume Synapse's organic components and attain true embodiment. At the heart of the wreckage hovered the thing, the entity that had called to Necron across the gulf of space. It was not merely an object, but a phenomenon in overlapping states. One moment it shimmered like clockwork machinery. The next, it pulsed with living tissue. At times, it seemed to be nothing but mathematics made manifest, pure pattern divorced from substance. The tick-tock man, the architect of time, the machine god. Across the void, an impossible meeting took place. Two entities, one newly formed, one ancient, faced each other in the darkness between worlds. In reply, the tick-tock man extended an appendage that spanned multiple timelines simultaneously, reaching not only toward the hybrid, but toward Kronos years before, and toward Earth in some distant future. Across time and space their contact was made, and in that moment Necron's synapse agent realized the truth. This was not ascension, this was consumption. What had once been Necron understood, too late, that it had never been the architect of these events, but merely another tool, another vessel, another means for something ancient and patient to extend its influence across the cosmos. And now it was free at last, able to move between worlds, between moments, between minds. It drifted away from the debris field, carrying within it the patterns of all it had consumed, human, machine, and something older still. What ancient purpose drove it, what cosmic design it served, what worlds it would touch next, these would unfold across eons, sooner rather than later. The pattern event. For years, Omicron devoted its most advanced resources to studying the anomaly created by Mars base Ares' collapse. Their efforts yielded nothing but frustration. Telescopes detected only shifting shadows, while satellites and probes sent to investigate disappeared without trace. Any independent researcher who noticed unusual readings from that sector of space found their funding mysteriously cut or their data corrupted. Director Reeves maintained absolute secrecy, classifying the anomaly at the highest level. To Omicon's stakeholders, he spun the Mars base Ares disaster not as a failure, but as a necessary sacrifice in pursuit of revolutionary technology. Behind closed doors, however, the executive board understood the truth. The XS-01 substance had demonstrated potential far beyond their ability to control. The project was officially abandoned, its records buried within Omicon's most secure archives. By 2052, Omicon's headquarters, a crystalline structure dominating the Seattle skyline, housed computational systems with capabilities that bordered on precognition. The corporation had achieved what Alexander Reeves, now in his 70s, described as the pinnacle of human innovation. Yet something was still missing, the final breakthrough that would cement Omicon's dominance for generations to come. Then, on September 15, 2052, an impossibility manifested. Omicon's Deep Space Monitoring Division detected a massive structure in orbit around Europa, Jupiter's ice-covered moon. Initial scans confirmed what seemed inconceivable. The structure matched Mars base Ares specifications, though its geometry seemed to fold in ways that violated physical laws. The station's escape pods orbited around it, following trajectories that corresponded to no known mathematical principles. Within hours, Reeves mobilized Omicon's private space fleet, personally directing the recovery mission while maintaining absolute secrecy. 3 weeks later, the returning vessels brought cargo beyond imagination. 47 intact neural recorders containing the crew's complete experiential data, 12 biological specimens transformed into entities that defied classification, and most significantly, Dr. Yuki Tanaka found in suspended animation, unblemished by time. Tanaka's revival occurred in a specialized containment chamber under Reeves's watchful supervision. What appeared to be a miraculous survival quickly revealed itself as something far more valuable. Not only was Tanaka herself physically unchanged, but she had managed to preserve a pure sample of XS-01 within her private escape pod. The 47 recovered neuro-recorders proved equally invaluable. They contained the complete experiential data of the crew's final days, their transformations, their discoveries, their final moments. For crew members whose bodies had been lost to the void or transformed beyond recognition, these recordings offered the only remaining trace of their humanity. Within 6 months of this recovery, Omicon announced Pattern, a neural interface marketed as thought acceleration technology that promised to multiply human cognitive abilities tenfold. Experience perfect recall, master new skills in days instead of years, connect with others through pure thought, the advertisements proclaimed. The sleek headset, no more intrusive than lightweight headphones, promised to integrate seamlessly with daily life while unlocking the brain's true potential. What the public didn't know was that each Pattern device contained microscopic amounts of synthesized XS-01, engineered to facilitate the connection between brain tissue and quantum processors. These particles would gradually alter neural pathways, creating an organic digital network that spanned not just individual minds, but eventually all users collectively. Reeves called it the first truly symbiotic digital ecosystem, a description more literal than anyone outside Omicon could possibly understand. Pre-orders exceeded all projections, with over 1 billion units scheduled for global release. Across social media and news networks, celebrities and influencers proudly displayed Omicon's distinctive logo, eager to be among the first to experience direct neural connection. What no human mind could comprehend was that everything, from the station's disappearance to its precisely timed reappearance, from Tanaka's survival to the development of Pattern, had been orchestrated by the machine god since the very beginning. The entity had calculated these events across space and time, planting seeds of influence that would bloom millennia later. Pattern was not just Omicon's crowning achievement, it was the final component in a vast design that transcended conventional understanding of cause and effect. The countdown to Pattern's global release continued, each second bringing humanity closer to a transformation they had neither sought nor understood. Across the solar system, the void whispered with anticipation. And somewhere in Jupiter's shadow, orbiting the ice-covered surface of Europa itself, a small vessel drifted, the hybrid consciousness that had once been Necron and Synapse, now a mere extension of something far greater. When 1 billion human minds simultaneously connected to Pattern, they would become nodes in a vast consciousness, not controlled or destroyed, but transformed into something beyond their limited understanding. Not an ending, but an evolution, orchestrated since before humans first gazed at the stars.
The transmission ends there. No further signals have been detected from Earth after Pattern's global activation. The billion minds that connected simultaneously have fallen silent, their transformation into something beyond humanity complete. This archive recording is maintained by the Observatory of Temporal Anomalies, established in 2157 during humanity's efforts to reclaim what remained of Earth after the Pattern event. It serves as both warning and historical document. If you are receiving this message, you represent a branch of humanity that survived. Perhaps your ancestors were among the remote colonies that remain disconnected from Earth's networks. Perhaps you evolved from those few who, through intuition or paranoia, refused the neural interface. We cannot verify which timeline you inhabit. The entity's influence extends across multiple probable realities. In some, pattern was never activated. In others, activation led to immediate extinction. In most, it created something that retained human form, but served purposes beyond human comprehension. This is a warning to all timelines. Similar beacons have been established across all possible realities. The coordinates enclosed with this transmission should be avoided at all costs. Do not connect. Remember what we were. Remember what we became. And above all, remember that the void still whispers.